All right, I want to welcome everybody back to the Real Talk podcast. This is going to be episode 8, Bad Movie Edition, part 2. Now, the last episode, we touched on a few movies that we thought were bad. Some nice response from people and everything. The Dark Knight series, which I don't really think it is a bad series, but according to Al, he thinks it does. The Fast and Furious series, Justin thinks they're good. I think they're shit. And what else do we touch on? The Spider-Man series as well, along with the Tree of Life.
I think we all agreed Spider-Man sucked dick.
Anyways, I'm your host, JR, Sid Maris, holla back. With me tonight I got Al. Got Justin.
Yo.
And finally back, got a new headphone and everything. Off the ones and twos. Eddie No Side, yo.
Man, fuck Al for saying the Dark Knight suck. I am so pissed about that still.
Release your anger, bro.
Well, first of all, it's Dark Knight. That's all I gotta say. It's Dark Knight. Second of all, I hear what you're saying about the voice, but the thing about it is, I think he talks as Batman for about a total of 30 minutes in 3 films. So I don't even know how you can, because of that, you can say it's a bad movies, bad series. Like, that's BS, and I hate you for that.
Oh, really? Well, when your main character, which the whole movie is based on, the Dark Knight, is your weakest link, sorry, it's a bad movie.
Weakest, I don't know, man. I have to disagree, man. The voice is annoying, but I don't think it's a game breaker for me as far as movies go, personally.
Again, if it was called the Bruce Wayne story, then it'd be different. But considering it's about the Dark Knight, and the Dark Knight is your worst character in all 3 movies, you have a problem. Sorry.
I don't know, man. I beg to differ. But anyways.
And the thing that bothers me, it's like, to me, the definition of a bad movie is, like, I watch a lot of bad movies, and Jared knows this. I watch a shit ton of shitty movies.
Yeah, you do.
Like, as much as I hate, Fast and Furious 2, when that shit comes on, I'm watching it like I don't care. To me, the definition of a bad movie is a movie that if I had twins and you told me watch this movie over, I'd be like, just take one of them and just give me a pardon for this one time. And here's a movie I'm going to throw to you guys. The movie Geely with Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck.
Never saw it. I avoided it like the plague because of the reviews.
I avoided it because it was Jennifer Lopez in a movie.
See, that's the thing.
That's a good point.
I watched it because people said it was bad. And this is how bad it was. I had to watch it 4 times to finish the fucking movie. Because every time I would either fall asleep or I would randomly get ADD, and it's just I couldn't finish it because it was fucking terrible.
That was me and Robin, the new Robin Hood. I still have yet to finish that movie. I fall asleep every time.
The one with Russell Crowe?
Yeah, the one with Russell Crowe.
Oh, really?
I watched it all the way
forgot
through.
about that.
It was.
But I distinctively remember a part of the movie that every time this part came on, I kind of sort of had to brace myself. Like, all right, this is the part that I walked out on last time. I walked out of my living room and said, fuck this movie. There was a part that Ben Affleck and Jennifer Lopez, Ben Affleck, you fucking the man, that's the main thing in sex, the dick. Which I'm a guy, okay, I get it. And then Jennifer Lopez says that the best feature about a man and a woman are the lips. Lips are like vaginas. So ultimately, women are the ultimate things that men are looking for. That's why she's a lesbian. And I'm sitting up there like, yo, that is the most retarded.
What kind of logic is that? It's J-Lo logic. J-logic. No? Was that just me?
Yeah. No, it was bad.
I don't know, man. I've never seen Gigli, but I mean, like, as far as I know, like, I've gone based on what people, have told me, and or based on reviews. And I'm not really one to do that, but like, if the overall consensus on something is that it's pretty bad, I'm probably gonna stay away from it. I don't know, like, to me, like, you know what I can't stand though are people that like want to. I guess we're getting it more into the lines of people who say movies are good because it's the cool thing. Like, have you seen The Artist or whatever? They're trying to be cool. It's kind of like, I feel like people who like Adele, personally, I can't stand her. I don't think she's that good a singer. I feel like everyone's on this bandwagon or whatever, and she's such Adele. She's a big girl. She don't care. She's big. Like power or whatever. I don't know. It's just something about
man,
that.
I like that big bitch, man. I mean,
a lot of people see Billie Holiday in her, and that's why they see Billie Holiday and they're like, they see what Billie Holiday meant to music, and they're trying to put her in that category, and you can't do it.
See, but I don't do that though. I just like when her song comes on, I'll listen to it. I didn't buy her fucking album. If you ask me to name any other song out of her fucking album, I don't know the fucking names. Like the only songs I listen to are the ones that are on the mainstream and shit like that. Like those I enjoy, but I wouldn't categorize her with other like singers that I enjoy a lot. It's just she's not annoying compared to other shit that's out there now.
Gotcha.
But I don't know. Well, we got off on a tangent there. But Eddie, I want your opinion. Fast and the Furious, they're bad movies or what, though, dude? I mean, we used to clown that shit like crazy in the bank, bro. Remember at least the second one.
I know the second one was the worst one, but my thing is, I didn't mind I enjoyed the first one. The second
That's
one
what I said. The first one was the best one out of them all, in my opinion.
But the second one was such a bad movie that I enjoyed watching it because it's like just cracking jokes on it. Like if you can't do that, if you can't even do that with a movie, then that to me is a complete like. There's some movies that it's just like, oh man, I forgot how bad this movie is. Let me rewatch it and shit like that. But the fifth one, the one that you haven't watched, the last one that came out.
It's so good.
That one was good. That one was good, dude. Like that one was better to me than the first one. The fourth one, the one that we went to go see in theaters, that can go fuck itself in the ass.
That one was so bad.
But
I can't believe.
But it's still, again, like the second one is still like that adopted child that you didn't know that was psychotic that you brought to your home, and you kind of regretted it.
He's a cousin from the Brady Bunch.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Okay, well, I don't know. I guess you're right. If you can make fun of it and crack, because that's really the whole point of the second one. We used to crack jokes about it at work, and that was the whole fun aspect of it, I guess. But I'm going to throw something out there real quick, and I don't know if you guys are going to agree, and I know you're like talking about bad movies, something that you go back to 4 or 5 times before you actually finish it. But what about a movie that the story is so bad and unoriginal that, it's getting all this praise and everything, and, in your heart of hearts, this shit isn't good. Like, what is everyone else seeing in this that you aren't? And with that, I'm talking about Avatar. I don't know if you guys are going to agree or anything, but Avatar to me was Pocahontas and Dances with Wolves in space. Anybody want to comment on that shit?
There's no need.
Visually,
I feel the same way.
Visually, stunning movie, but I don't know. I want to throw it out there. I thought Avatar, I forgot to mention in the last podcast, but Avatar was another one that I had on my list. It was just, I don't know.
I agree with you, but I don't think Avatar was a bad movie.
I thought it was I thought it was bad because of that, of how unoriginal it was.
It was bad. Period.
I liked it. I'm gonna go see the next one.
Granted, you could like that movie. I can see how, like, if you just went in there for the sheer entertainment factor, you just wanted to see pretty shit on a screen, okay. But as far as any of the acting, Sigourney Weaver was terrible. The avatars, not believable in the slightest. Or whatever the fuck the race was called, because the avatars were what the humans made. There you go. Whatever. Navi, the annoying fairy from Ocarina of Time. Anyway, I didn't really find that movie all that enjoyable. Like I said, other than the visuals, which was just, okay. But even then, I've seen better.
Yeah, I was going in there expecting like this sci-fi epic. I'm like, Earth. It just became to me like rainforest activism, Greenpeace type shit or whatever. And Pocahontas, white man coming in taking, the natives shit. And I don't know, it's just, and then he becomes one of them. That was Dances with Wolves.
I even like
so
how
on and so forth.
The mineral they were mining was called unobtainium.
Yeah, I don't know. Personally, I don't know. That was just me. I don't know if anybody else wanted to add anything to that, or any other movies that they want to add to the whole bad movie thing, Majigger. Battleship, yes.
was bad.
That was absolutely horrible, dude.
Now,
absolutely horrible.
I've got a little story about Battleship.
Can I make one comment before
Go
you
ahead.
go into your story?
Go ahead.
And this might rub people the wrong way. And you know what? I don't give a fuck. Rihanna.
She should not be acting.
She should not be acting, number one. And I'm gonna say this. And
She shouldn't even be singing.
The most realistic part about Rihanna's acting in that movie were the scenes where she was getting beat up. I'm sorry if that sounds mean or whatever, but that was it. I could not stand the scenes where she was playing soccer. She's like, "Get up, pull your skirt up," but like acting like this fake tough girl. Like, where were you when Chris Brown was doing that to you? I don't know. I'm sorry. That sounds horrible, and I'm probably getting some backlash from the girls that listen to this. But yeah, Rihanna sucked in that movie, and that was among a slew of things in that movie that was wrong.
Not even Eric Northman could save that movie.
You're right. Not even Eric Northman could, and he dies. By the way, that was actually very sad because I like that character.
I like how he's on the cover and all this shit, and he's not even half the movie.
Al, you were going to say something, or whatever.
Well, when that movie was in pre-production, they came onto our ship, and all of the destroyers in that movie were based off of my ship in the Navy. All the film crews, everything, all of the concept artists, everything, they were on board our ship, taking measurements, trying to get shit accurate. So the first thing that bothered me is there was no mention of USS Sterett. As much as I hated the Navy, I did have some pride in the ship that I was in. Second thing that bothered me is when they filmed the inside of the destroyer, it was the inside of a cruiser.
Yeah, but I mean, come on.
I know most people wouldn't get it.
Won't even know that, yeah.
Right, I get that. Third thing that bothered me. I understand, I can suspend my belief for aliens and all that fun stuff.
Ancient astronaut theorists. No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
No, but seriously, I can suspend my belief, just aliens or whatever it is, right? What I can't suspend my belief for is when they're on Earth and they don't use Earth physics. Now, I can imagine if they were on a different planet, then you can say, oh, shit works differently on, because gravity has a different effect on a different planet, right?
Yep.
Well, they're on Earth in that movie.
Mm-hmm.
So, two things right away that really bothered me in that regard is I can't remember the main actor's name, but he was on the forecastle of the ship, the front of the ship, and he's fighting this alien. And the 5-inch, the gun on the front of the ship, destroys the alien, and all that happens to the main actor is he goes over the side, but he's hanging on. The force of impact of him standing near that gun when it goes off would either deafen him, make his ears bleed, and or put him over the side of the ship where he would not have been able to hang on, regardless of where he was standing.
Now that's that big-ass gun he shot?
The big gun on the front of the ship, the cannon, it's huge.
Okay.
Anyway, so he's dangling over the side of the ship. That would never have happened. The third thing about the physics that really bothered me, that ties into another part that really bothers me, is when they were getting the Missouri up and running, and all of a sudden the old men just showed up out of nowhere, and in 20 minutes, they got a ship up and running that hasn't run since World War II, in 20 minutes. Now, the problem I have is when he's like, flank speed ahead, whatever, and then they drop the anchor. First of all, the water isn't deep enough for the anchor to hit the bottom. I mean, the water isn't shallow enough for the anchor to hit the bottom of the ocean, 1. 2, there is nothing in this world that would make that anchor, even if it did hit the bottom of the ocean, make a battleship of that size.
Yeah, move like that. That was BS.
Turn on a dime. It would rip the forecastle apart. And all of these things that just were occurring, I'm not even going to get into the Rihanna bad acting, or the bad acting throughout the movie. I mean,
Liam Neeson was in that movie, and
I was 10 minutes, and
I was hoping for a badass moment from him, like,
yeah, no
he was going to take
moment.
the reins over and fucking go kill the shit out of those fucking aliens.
But
Guess not.
All of those little things, like I said, I can suspend my belief for aliens in the world because that's what the movie is about.
Sure.
Aliens. However, if you're going to take place on Earth, please use Earth physics.
I completely agree with you, dude. I'm watching this. I'm like, how is this possible? And like, and even they allude to it or whatever in that one scene. It's like, oh, the ship hasn't run since WW2. I'm like, then how the fuck do you know it's gonna fucking work? And
well,
how
I mean, they do maintenance. I mean, it's in Pearl Harbor. They do maintenance on it, but the fact those they don't have fuel in it. That ship doesn't have fuel in it. You know how long it would take to fucking fuel that battleship? Not 20 minutes.
Yeah, dude. No, you're right. You're right.
And then they had to train people. Oh, please.
Yeah, like instantly, right? It was fucking great. I don't know. It was yeah, quintessential bad movie. Personally, Eddie, you wanted to touch on something on this one, bro?
I think we have the definition of bad movies. Like we have different ways of viewing it. Because to me, like a movie like Avatar, I'm not saying it's my favorite movie. I'm not saying I hate it, but something like the way the movie looked and shit, like I enjoyed the shit out of that. Like that shit to me,
like I said, I'm not taking anything away from the visuals. It was like, visually stunning.
Like to me, like I recently watched a movie that as a child I thought was awesome. I saw that shit was on Netflix. I freaking watched it. I was so excited.
Willow.
Nah, I said Netflix. Shaft.
Oh.
Dude, I thought that movie was awesome. I was like, yo, there's a bunch of Dominican drug dealers. Oh, like they're freaking awesome and they're talking Spanish and blah, 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 and all this other stuff. First of all, that was the worst Dominican actings I've ever seen. None of the dudes was Dominican.
And just like the fake Brazilians in the Hulk movie and the Fast and the Furious movie, but let's keep on going.
But the actions were like, first of all, they didn't have it was like a white guy that was talking Spanish with English, but they know what like, dude, shut the fuck up. And then second of all, they had this other guy that was in the gang that I know he's half Cuban, but he doesn't know Spanish. And he tries to sound like he knows Spanish by mixing in words that he was taught as a child that he forgot about.
Mm-hmm.
And
I know what you're talking about.
throw in English. And I'm sitting up there like, yo, first of all, it's Bubbles from The Wire. So it's like,
oh,
I love Bubbles.
Really?
So it's like, so it's just like, like if it was anybody else, I probably would have just shut the TV off right then and there. But then he gets killed. Then the thing that pissed me off about the movie was the way the whole drug dealing thing went. Like the fact that Christian Bale comes into the jail and the Dominican drug dealer's in there, and the guy's like, oh, we should do business. And the guy's like, all right, cool, whatever. So Christian Bale, who the name of the bad guy that the Dominican drug dealer is Peoples. Peoples doesn't even know if Christian Bale's a fucking cop. He invites Christian Bale over to his house. Then on top of that, he's talking to him about drugs. Like this guy, like didn't even pat him down to see if this guy had a fucking wire. Cool, whatever. It's a fucking movie. Maybe they pat him down before they got in. They didn't put that in the scene because you don't need to show that shit. Common sense.
But sometimes they do.
Hold on. But then the thing that pissed me off even most is you don't know this guy's a fucking cop. Let's say you did pat him down. He ain't got a wire on him or nothing like that. The rules of drug dealing clearly state you don't you don't handle the drugs in your home. This motherfucker opens a door and he has 8 naked bitches putting a coke together in his fucking home.
It's like that scene in American Gangster.
Rule number 1 of drugs, folks. Remember that.
Yeah, don't.
Yo, and then
10 crack commandments.
And then Peoples is just like, this is my operation here, and it's like, dude, like fuck you, like no, this is, and then I couldn't finish watching it. I really couldn't finish watching it. Then the one scene that I really enjoyed that I thought was hysterical, I realized how terrible it was because the fucking guy's accent was just terrible, and like that shit's just that movie went from like a movie that if I were to watch it right now, and I was told I had to watch it, and I had a son, I'd be like, yo, you're gonna die because I'm not gonna watch this shit. Like I'm gonna sell you on the black market instead of watching this fucking movie. Swear to fucking God, man.
Shaft. Who's the titular role in that? Who should I? Sam Jackson?
Yeah, man, that's my beer.
See, my thing, I'm gonna use a really dangerous word right now. When I go to watch a movie, I want to be immersed in the story that they're telling, and I'm serious about that.
Yes.
Knowing that everything in a movie, everything you see in film, is intentionally placed there by the director. When you see continuity errors, like you see it all over the Dark Knight series, when you see
What, a continuity errors? Come on, man.
Absolutely, but we'll that's a whole episode in and of itself. But um, when you see just bad acting or horrible one-liners, I mean, unless you're going to
I
see a
hate
movie for
one-liners.
like horrible one-liners, i.e., like Nightmare on Elm Street, because that's the only reason why anybody saw any of those movies is the Freddy Krueger one-liners that you'd get, because the shit wasn't scary after anything. But just I want to be immersed in the world, and unfortunately, with the case of Battleship or the case of Avatar, even though the visuals, I saw that movie in IMAX, and they did a really good job of kind of placing you there, but it felt so detached from the actual experience that I never really felt like that I was a part of the experience that they were trying to portray. So.
Yeah, and I think Ed's right. We are defining bad movies differently a little bit, but I mean, like, there are movies that are just complete shit, like the whole Scary Movie series, or those spoof movies, like Date Movie, whatever movie, this movie,
Haunted House.
Those movies,
anything
they suck.
by Pauly Shore.
Yeah, Pauly Shore. Is he still around?
Biodome, baby.
They made a movie called Pauly Shore is Dead. I think he's dead.
He's not dead.
Oh, his career is, but
and I mean, and then another thing you guys gotta understand is I worked at a movie theater for 5 years.
Oh yeah, you did.
One of the jobs that we had to do was you had to screen the movies to make sure that there weren't any cuts or rips or dust or anything on the movies, because the last thing you want to do is show a movie to the public and it's fucked up. So we had to screen the movie. So I was sometimes forced to watch shitty fucking movies, and I was being paid for it, but at the same time, it was sometimes I wish I might walk out and get fired because this is fucking terrible. This is pretty fucking terrible.
Yeah, man, I feel you, dude. I don't know. I mean, like I said, and like you were mentioning, I think there are, some bad movies and then movies that you expect to be good but just turn out being bad for the reasons that Al said. You can't immerse yourself. You don't believe it. It's not something you can really put up with. I don't know. I won't even give you the Dark Knight one because I feel like those movies are very well done, aside from the Bat voice, which was, very, very minimal. I don't think it broke that movie. I'm going to disagree with you on that. But, movies that are like getting, the Oscar, like, I don't know if you guys saw War Horse. No? Nobody?
Nah,
No.
I had no interest.
I
in
won't
that.
even touch on it then. But pretty much sum it up. The movie to me was one big borderline bestiality movie. I mean, this kid sees this horse growing up in a field. He falls in love with the horse. The horse goes to war. The horse miraculously survives all sorts of shit like minefields, trenches, all this shit. And I don't know. And then they end up reunited. It's just not. I don't know.
This movie won all kinds of awards, didn't it?
It sucked. Trust me.
I had no interest in watching it to begin with.
Well, I had to watch it, but whatever. Made a day out of it. Took Panda Express. Blah blah blah. Anyways, Justin, you wanted to touch on something earlier, an article you were reading. Would you want to brush on that real quick?
Yeah, we can brush on that. These are some bad movies that I think they're not necessarily terrible movies, but they were definitely bad movies that maybe if they had changed the leading actor in the movie, they could have been good movies. So
hey, I'm just letting you know right now, if the word "face off" or "Con Air" come out of your mouth, I'm gonna stop recording. I'm gonna stop recording. All right.
So here, this is.
I don't think
this first one here we can all agree
Face Off are on those movies. And by the way, I love Face Off. Very, very quotable movie.
It's my shit.
I want his face. Oh. But okay.
See, you all can let me know if you agree with this or not. But how about?
Well, okay. Let's do it like this. You throw out the movie, and we'll see if we saw it or whatever.
All
and then
right.
The titular. We'll see. All right.
Episode 2 and 3 of Star Wars.
2. Okay.
2 and 3. 2 and 3. We're combining them because the actor was in 2 and 3.
Yep.
Hayden Christensen.
Yep.
Playing Anakin Skywalker.
Yep.
Terrible.
And
I think we can all agree on that.
Absolutely terrible. And I will quote Clerks 2 on this one, if you guys have seen it. The scene
where, yes,
he calls him Anakin Skywalker, danger, shitty acting, ruining saga. Yeah, I think he was horrible.
Yeah,
I mean, the way he delivered lines that were supposed to, like that scene.
He
with
was
him,
trying to project angst, and he
just
just
wasn't
did a
doing it.
bad job at it.
That scene where him and Obi-Wan are, dueling it out at the end there had so. I mean, that scene had so much potential to be one of the greatest movie scenes ever.
Right, and when they're getting ready to face off there on the landing dock,
the Jedi are evil. But I don't know, that is horrible. And when like Obi-Wan is like, "You are the chosen one," and I'm like,
he's
just sitting there
being
like,
Obi-Wan. He's totally being Obi-Wan. And
like Obi-Wan, I feel bad for Ewan McGregor. He totally acted the shit out of that role, and they gave him a shitty cast.
It had Liam Neeson, Natalie Portman, Ian McGregor, and then you got this kid in. And okay, so if you could have picked anyone to replace him as Anakin Skywalker, who do you think?
Fucking Reeves, man.
Keanu Reeves.
Keeping in mind, you think you have to have like around the same age as this kid?
Well, back then, I guess I wasn't too savvy on actors or who I mean, if I had to think, I know the list suggest Heath Ledger, right?
Heath Ledger, yeah. He's only 2 years older than Hayden, and had already been in a bunch of movies, including The Patriot. He was awesome in that, and in The Knight's Tale, and he was great in that.
I could see him pulling that off, but do you feel like him getting that role would like be a detriment to his career? Would you think that if he got that role, he would have gotten the Joker role in The Dark Knight? You don't?
I think he would have, because I think he would have portrayed it a lot better, and I think he proved that when he was the Joker.
I think though, bro, I think that because the scripts for those movies, let's be honest here, were kind of weak. Personally, even as a Star Wars fan, I can admit that. I think that might have hindered him actually getting the role of Joker. Personally, I don't know. Anybody else want to touch on that?
I don't know. Liam Neeson never had a problem after Qui-Gon Jinn.
Yeah, you're right. But I mean, the Qui-Gon was
Ian McGregor's never had a problem.
Yeah, I guess you're right. That's a good point. But still, I don't know.
Natalie Portman, she just did Black Swan and all that.
Black Swan is kind of, aside from that lesbian scene, I don't know if I like that movie too much. Hey, the Masturbation
That was the reason to watch that.
Hello. That's what I'm talking about.
What's the next fucking movie? Come on.
All right, let's
You motherfuckers do this all the time. Y'all say one thing and talk about the motherfucker for 10 minutes. Go down the motherfucking list, man.
Okay, all right. You all like Will Smith, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, all right. And I agree with this.
Wait a second. I like Will Smith, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. That's it.
All right. I like Will Smith.
Yo, I Am Legend.
I Am Legend. I didn't like it.
I Am Legend
it was bad. It was bad.
Yo,
it was
7
bad.
pounds. 7 pounds.
Didn't watch it.
That was actually one of the only Will Smith movies that I thoroughly enjoyed.
Pursuit of Happiness. Pursuit of Happiness.
Those CGI vampires were terrible, and his acting was bad in that.
It was horrible.
Yo,
and they altered the ending.
No, yo, fuck you. You guys are like the dickheads that go to a fucking bar. There's a bitch with nice titties, a cute face, but her left butt cheek looks funny. I don't like her. I don't like her.
No.
Like you
Will Smith couldn't pull that off. You know who could have pulled that off? Denzel Washington.
Why? Why? Kind of old for that role, don't you think?
Not back then, but I mean,
I think
what movie? And you know what? And this is I Am Legend. I think Denzel could have done better than Will Smith in that movie. But
I
then again,
think
I
Will
thought
Smith was given the appropriate
was
script based on the book.
Yeah, they changed the ending.
I
am
just finding out now that it was based off a book. Wow.
Yeah, and the end they changed the ending.
Yes, I think that the fact that you can only be as good as the shit that you're given sometimes, and I think he did well in that movie. However, the writing and the storytelling in that movie compared. I mean, you can always say his book is better than the movies.
They really pushed to keep it PG-13. I think.
Right. I really think that if they hadn't, it would have been a better movie.
Yeah, I agree with that. If they had better.
Does color matter here? Because one guy that I feel like Christian Bale
would have in I Am Legend.
Yeah.
Nope.
I don't think so.
I don't know if I can see that. Based off his Batman credentials.
Nah, dude. Based on like everything else he's done, like fucking Psycho,
American Psycho,
and shit like that.
Yeah. Okay.
I still don't. I've never been a fan of Christian Bale, personally.
I really only got into him.
Even Terminator was shit.
Yeah, Terminator was horrible. I liked him I really started liking him in the Batman series. Personally, I didn't know who he was until then, so call me ignorant in that aspect. But and that I saw his other Christopher Nolan movies, the one where he had with Hugh Jackman or whatever, the one about the Prestige. Is that what it was called? I think it was. That was a pretty good movie. But what else? What else you got going here, bro? What else?
How about Ben Affleck in Daredevil?
I liked Ben Affleck in Daredevil personally. A lot of people will not agree with that.
No. Hold the fuck. You said Daredevil was. I forgot about that shitty movie. That movie fucking sucked.
That's a terrible movie.
I liked Daredevil. Believe it or not,
terrible.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed Daredevil.
No,
Sue me.
Ben Affleck is many things. He's a good writer, good director. He's a good actor. He ain't no superhero, especially a blind superhero.
I don't know. I thought it wasn't a great movie, but I thought overall I enjoyed it. Believe it or not.
Wow.
I don't know.
I'm at a loss for words. You know what? What's the next movie, Justin? Fuck.
I don't think I watched that all the way through. Jesus. How about Kevin Bacon in X-Men First Class?
I liked him. I thought he did a good job. Personally, that movie was actually a really nice. I mean, it's hard.
Kevin Bacon's so not a bad guy though.
He wasn't a bad Sebastian. What's his last name? I forget his last name.
Sebastian Shaw.
Sebastian Shaw, yes, he wasn't a bad Sebastian Shaw. I thought he was pretty solid. I mean, on the list they wanted the guy that played Malfoy's dad in Harry Potter.
Jason Isaacs.
Yeah,
I think that would have been a little more,
a little bit more villainous. But I thought Bacon overall was a pretty solid job.
Yeah, I really liked them. Like, all clean cut. Looks like someone you can trust. Like, oh my dada, can you hold my mom? I was like, no, I'm gonna kill the bitch. Bang.
He was like a southern asshole. I like that.
All right. Last one. Halle Berry in Die Another Day.
Ooh, I didn't see Die Another Day, but Halle Berry's resume recently. But she was just a Bond girl, wasn't she? Or no, she was more than that.
I didn't like her in Catwoman either.
Ever since
I don't think anybody liked her in
when I was
Catwoman,
little,
personally.
seeing her on Oprah claiming that she wanted to commit suicide and kill her dogs with her by driving over a bridge, I had zero respect for that woman.
Really? I didn't know this about her.
Yeah, apparently she was going through some dark times and she needed to kill herself. She didn't, obviously, unfortunately. I mean, I'm just kidding.
Why do all these celebrities want to off themselves? They're millions of dollars. I don't get it, bro.
Because they can't cope with the sudden change of lifestyle.
I'd be fucking happy as a motherfucker.
I enjoy Halle Berry, but I have to say the movie Swordfish, I'm sorry, was the most disappointing thing in the world. Like when they said, "Yo,
got to see her titties." What's disappointing about
that? No, but that's the thing. It's how it was shown. It was like I thought she was gonna like come out of a fucking like the bathroom, standing up, like, "Oh, hey, what's up? These are my titties." The fact that she was all laying down, like, look at my titties, like, oh, that shit's just.
I don't know. The beginning of that movie was.
Sound like Fat Bastard.
I don't know, Swordfish is one of my favorite action movies. I mean,
Swordfish
really
is cool. I just hate how they make hacking seem like it's like instantaneous or whatever. I know. That. It's so funny, dude. Like, hack into this, hack into that. It's like, down to the wire type thing. Like he's cracking the passcode at 2 seconds to go.
Well, hold on, but you liked it in The Dark Knight when they were doing that?
When did they do that in The Dark Knight? Oh, with the fucking bank?
Are you serious?
Listen, I liked Swordfish, motherfucker. Take it easy. Shut up, right?
But I know, but you're like, oh, I hate this, but it's okay in a different movie?
Listen, I never said it was okay, but I'm just saying, all right?
And the fact that in 8 minutes it goes from bright light outside and dark, we want to talk about continuity errors. We can get into it, but hey.
We'll save that for another episode, all right? Does anybody else want to add anything to this thing of Majig or whatever?
I still hate Al. I really hate Al. You don't go The Dark Knight.
Yeah, I think the consensus is here is that it's not a bad series. Personally, I'm gonna have to disagree here. If you were to say that about Spider-Man, I'll
take Adam West over Christian Bale any day.
All right, fuck you. We're ending the episode right now. Fuck this guy. This has been episode 8, part 2 of the bad movies. Al's pissing everybody off. Thanks for listening. Check out all the links at the bottom. What up?
Wait, you said episode 8. This is still part 2 of episode 7.
Oh, whoops, my fault. This is episode 7, part 2 of the bad movies. Holla back. My fault. Thanks for the correction. Make sure to check us out on Facebook, facebook.com/RealTalkPcast. Podcast Real Talk on Twitter and YouTube. Check out our other videos. Check out our gaming quickies, our sports quickies, all our other episodes. Like the Facebook page, share the videos, do all that good stuff. Thanks for listening. We'll catch you guys on the flip side. Peace.